No. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to sing it, and you can't make me. I'm under no contractual obligation. I can just sit here all night if you want me to, but I'm not singing that song. But you do hear it in your head. Do you actually hear the song in your head right now? Yeah. Yeah. Enjoy it. So, welcome back to StillerBros at the Movies, where today we complete the Barbenheimer duology by seeing the other half, Barbie. So, we're 30-year-old men. We are 30-year-old cis men. We're 30-year-old cis het men, and we're gonna go see a movie about a doll for 6-year-olds. Yeah. The movie's not for 6-year-olds because it's PG-13, but still. Yeah, this is never would have seen this coming. Would have thought this is just where our lives are going. This is just the world this is the world we live in. We are truly in the weirdest timeline. So, I guess we'll start with the fact that over about 40-ish years ago, Barbie hit the scene and it became a cultural phenomenon as one of the most popular dolls in the history of toys. As the opening scene to this actual movie states, it was the first non-baby doll for girls to hit the market and explode in popularity. So, obviously, a movie was in the works or on the horizon at some point or another over the course of several decades. They have had multiple direct-to-DVD movies, including one that lives in my soul rent-free because I watched the trailer for it during an interview at a now defunct Toys R Us. But around 2015, people started getting really serious about making a Barbie movie because after the success of Trainwreck, Amy Schumer was brought on board to direct and was brought on board to write and star in a Barbie movie. Though, of course, then Amy Schumer's time in the limelight kind of faded. It fizzled. Amy Schumer's popularity pretty much came and went in a surprisingly quick fashion. So then that movie, apparently as Mattel has stated recently, her movie was just not what they were looking for. So Anne Hathaway then joined the movie. At some point, the rights lapsed too. So it's because now it's at Warner Brothers. Yeah. So with the rights lapsed and Anne Hathaway dropped out, so then it got picked up by Warner Brothers, and then Margot Robbie jumped on as a producer and star and brought in Greta Gerwig of all people. Greta Gerwig is a very popular director right now, mostly in the indie scene, because she got basically her start as an actress in mumblecore style movies. She started working with Noah Baumbach and Wes Anderson and various other kind of indie art house guys. Just kind of that little niche director circle of those three people who have comedy people that do these very kind of sophisticated highbrow comedies. And eventually, a few years ago, she started directing her own movies. Starting by co-directing a movie, and then eventually making her solo directorial debut with Lady Bird. Lady Bird proved to be an incredibly successful movie for her because it got her a bunch of Oscar nominations for writing and directing it. Then she was brought on board to direct Little Women, which was also a massive kind of medium-sized cultural phenomenon, and it was bigger than Lady Bird and almost as well received as Lady Bird. And so obviously, when an indie director gets that much cred, the world is theirs to play with. And so, what does Greta Gerwig decide to do with that much credibility? Make the Barbie movie. And it's not unheard of for movies about toys to be good. Like, we've had some good Transformers. We've had at least 2 good Transformers movies so far. At least 2 good live-action Transformers movies so far. We have had the Lego movies, which were more good than bad for the most part. It's obvious that toys are. You can make a good Joe's franchise as well, but no one really remembers that that's constantly ongoing until the Transformers thing. But the fact of the matter is, you can make a good movie out of anything. And so Barbie, a movie about Barbie. And so what we've got is a meta riff on Barbie, in which Barbie, played by Margot Robbie, along with like 50 other actors,
we have a lot of different Barbies in this movie,
is figuring out that she's got her connection to the real world, and then she drags along her boyfriend Ken, played by Ryan Gosling, along with about 50 other actors.
There are so many beautiful people in this movie. Like, bisexuals win this weekend. For one weekend, the bisexuals win.
And, of course, the movie is jam-packed with all the people who basically weren't in Oppenheimer for one reason or another. Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie are the stars, along with America Ferrera and Will Ferrell in the real-world situations. But we also got Kate McKinnon as a ruined Barbie.
We have Issa Rae as President Barbie.
We have got Dua Lipa and
Simu Liu, Ncuti Gatwa. We have Ariana Greenblatt playing America Ferrera's daughter.
This whole movie is just basically crammed to the gills with celebrities. It's like how when Oppenheimer had basically almost every character who walks across the screen be played by even a moderately famous actor, Barbie kind of steps it up a little bit. Though, of course, a lot of people connect the two movies, not just because of their release dates and the counter-programming that it creates. By the way, Christopher Nolan also got counter-programming with a movie meant more for a female audience when The Dark Knight went up against Mamma Mia in the same weekend.
Right.
And anyway,
nobody was double featuring those. The Dark Knight definitely won.
But anyway, the reason a lot of people double feature this because these are two movies about existential crises and the world that we're falling through, and a lot of people are conflicted on whether or not this movie or the other movie should be first. We've watched Oppenheimer first, so that's where we're going with this. And
other people have chosen to go Barbie first and then jump into Oppenheimer. We'll have to see where we land on it when we see this one and figure out which one should go into, which one will go in that order, which one we would prefer to go in that order.
Unless Barbie has spoilers for Oppenheimer, I think we are fine with what we've got.
Yeah.
And of course, there's the fact that this movie is making the exact people you think it would make mad.
Yes.
We won't say their names, we will not give them the oxygen. We're just pointing out that they are idiots, and they reacted exactly how you would expect they would react.
A pathetic 40-year-old man burning Barbies in a trash can.
This motherfucker watches Toy Story and roots for Sid.
Clearly.
But, yeah, what else is there to say? There's a Dua Lipa song that sounds exactly like Levitating. That's something.
There is a song that at the end of the main trailer that every time we saw that trailer in theaters, we just silently whispered to ourselves, "Thanks, I hate it." Not because of the movie, because we've actually been pretty stoked for the movie since the trailers came out.
But the fact is, it's Nicki Minaj sampling Aqua's Barbie Girl, and I've never exactly hated Barbie Girl. I've never sought out listening to it myself. It's just kind of one of those songs that shows up when you go to a party or something and the little kids need to dance or something. But I've only heard 10 seconds of this remix, and it is god-awful. And you know that I mean that when you remember that I'm the guy who actually kind of liked Fall Out Boy's remix of the Ghostbusters theme.
Yeah.
So, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But, other than that, the movie looks good. It looks on top of everything else, it also looks exactly like you would have thought the movie would be. Specifically because you heard Greta Gerwig was directing the Barbie movie. You expected something interesting at the very least.
And also the fact that we're now in a post-Lego movie world, so toy movies are going to become meta as hell.
Unless they have their own pre-built-in storyline, like the case of the Transformers and G.I. Joe movies.
Yeah, so this is very much probably going to be similar to Lego. It even has Will Ferrell in it, so there's that. But
it'd be fun if Will Ferrell was playing the exact same character as he did in the Lego movies.
But seeing as the Lego movie universe is now trashed because Warner Brothers is just ditching all of their successful IPs like Pokemon and Lego. But now, of course, the Lego is coming back in a way with the Nee brothers directing a live-action CGI hybrid. We'll see how that turns out.
I mean,
I don't know how the Nee brothers are as directors, other than what we've seen of the Lost City and Eddie, and I don't know if they're, and it's good, but I don't know if their Lord Miller replacement's good.
We'll have to see, but we're not talking about that right now. We are talking about Barbie.
We're 30-year-old heterosexual men.
Cisgender.
We're going...
We have never really played with Barbies in our entire lives.
Our sister had a bunch of Barbies, did exactly what you expect children to do with little girls to do with Barbies. Anyway, we'll see you guys after the jump. I don't know what else to say. So, who would have thought the Barbie movie would be one of the funniest and also most poignant movies of the year?
Yeah, that was a trip for a number of reasons. I'm really against the patriarchy now. I'm really ashamed. My male guilt is flaring up.
Oh no. First of all, weirdly packed theater.
There were like 4 other dudes in there, so
let's let's get into it. For one thing, I love the music. Yeah. I love the fact that this is one of those movies where it opens with a musical number and that musical number is sung by an outside character, but it's also interacting with the character. It's almost like the Lonely Island song at the end of the Lego Movie 2, where it just starts interacting with what's on screen.
Yeah.
And I really liked that.
This is a very... I don't know what I expected, but I didn't expect any of that. Also, I loved the music and the score in general, for one thing, and that's the fact that the Mattel CEO's theme, motif, whatever you want to call it, is just the Dua Lipa song with a kind of boarding up orchestral score. I thought that was pretty funny. Performances. Will Ferrell is always awesome. Margot Robbie. Well, what else did you expect? Margot Robbie has always looked the part of Barbie. It was just inevitable that she was just gonna be Barbie. Ken has a very surprisingly awesome arc, and Ryan Gosling plays him to a hilt.
And it was kind of funny that Ryan Gosling is getting into his comedic era of sorts because, well, here's the thing. We were watching The Nice Guys about 2 weeks ago on Netflix, and our mom walked in and saw us watching it and saw Ryan Gosling, like, crying against a cop car, and she was like, "You went from this to Ken?" It wasn't a straight line, but yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But it's a weird comedic mishmash. By the way, we should have reviewed The Nice Guys when it came out. I am so sorry. But now that we got you here, watch it on Netflix. Continue to watch it on Netflix, and then maybe Netflix will make us the sequels. Will make us the 5 sequels we should have had by now.
Yeah, but more importantly, this is a very deep movie, and Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach obviously put a lot of effort into writing this very, very feminist movie.
And it's got this whole energy, and it's got this vibe. It's a very live-action cartoon for the most part.
We spent a lot more time in Barbie Land than you think we would from the trailers, because the trailers don't show a lot.
The trailers are only giving us the first third of the movie, because you think that it's going to be like this fish out of water movie where Barbie goes to the real world and exists in the real world, but there's a lot more to it than that.
And even when we're in the real world, it is not our real world. It's a very hyper-stylized world.
Or at least it is when we get to the Mattel headquarters. Otherwise, otherwise outside in the real world, it's very realistic.
Yeah.
And it's just a fun live-action cartoon. I swear to God, at one point, I heard the Hanna-Barbera running sound effects gearing up at one point.
Yeah, but it's so
insanely powerful of a movie with a big message. This is a movie that was made for women by women.
So we're not the target demo in any capacity.
No, but the fact that we loved experiencing this movie, this is an experience. This is a cultural experience that I am glad to be a part of.
If we had watched this with Oppenheimer, I can honestly say it would be an interesting ride, because it would be, depending on which one you're watching, depending on which one you're watching first, you're going to get a weird experience, because you're getting the 3-hour dramatic historical biopic that ends with the atom bomb blowing up. Or you've got the Barbie movie that has this poignant speech by America Ferrera on how tough it is to be a woman, or a woman is just... By the way, anyone who's saying, man, this is great, I haven't seen America Ferrera in forever. That's because you didn't watch Superstore, you fuckers!
It was a great show, guys. Watch it on Peacock.
But this movie has actually got a lot of fun stuff to it. I love Michael Cera as Alan, just because watching Michael Cera show up dressed up in Barbie pastel colors is just hilarious.
There's a lot of funny jokes to the Barbie universe, but more importantly, you can tell everyone was having the time of their freaking life.
Hell, every time you would hear an interview from one of the actors, back when interviews were a thing that they could do, it would always seem like they were more describing them going to summer camp than them actually shooting a movie.
Yeah.
Because they would always talk, because they would be like, oh, we had game night at the hotel, we had a movie night, every Friday we'd get everybody together and we'd watch a movie, it would be fun. And it's like, okay, you never hear about stuff like this, it's all it is, so it's fun to hear that this is the kind of set that Greta Gerwig creates, which is good because she's got to work with literal children in her next project.
Yeah, because she's got her next project, which is going to be very different, a lot of ways different, but also kind of similar.
And it's kind of weird, Greta Gerwig's career. We haven't seen any of her other 3 movies, but I mean, Lady Bird is an indie drama about a young girl coming of age. Little Women is a period piece based on a famous piece of literature, and then we got Barbie, a live-action cartoon based on the children's doll, which is got these broad jokes and big musical numbers and action sequence and the occasional action sequence.
And strangely, all 3 of them are about coming of age in some capacity or another.
Yeah, it's all really amazing how you can say that Greta Gerwig's movies, at least her 3 solo directorial efforts, have a common theme, but they're all very different movies.
Yeah.
So that's diversity of talent in a director that you don't see a lot. Like, Oppenheimer is a Christopher Nolan movie, no doubt about it. And James Gunn...
It's a very different Christopher Nolan movie, but it's a Christopher Nolan movie.
And like James Gunn, he makes colorful, funny, action-packed movies, but you can very well tell what a James Gunn movie will entail. Or Steven Spielberg has done a lot of different movies, but he's got a very clear style that makes him Steven Spielberg. Greta Gerwig has done 4 movies, all of them different, and she's somehow managed to make critically acclaimed movies that get better and better audience returns, and that's just kind of amazing.
She deserves all the credit for making this movie what it is, because she took the freaking Barbie movie, a concept she could have easily phoned in, and instead took it and made it into a cultural phenomenon for the 2023 audience.
And the production design is fantastic. The Barbie houses are real, so real that apparently they used so much pink paint that they caused a worldwide shortage of color of every shade. Everything in Barbie Land is fake, but real. There's a lot, you can see the practicality in how they shot stuff in Barbie Land. The fact that this movie uses so much practical effects, it's weird that this only cost $145 million.
Yeah.
You'd think that with this much practical effects, it would cost more. They had to build entire sets.
They're doing like 85% of the movie is on a soundstage.
Hell, I feel like this might be able to brag that it has way less computer and CGI shots than Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Because Oppenheimer, yeah, it used computer enhanced stuff, but it also bragged about having no completely CGI shots. That's what Christopher Nolan meant, by the way, that there were no shots completely made of CGI.
Yeah.
But this movie, it builds a whole world, and it's weird and crazy and fun, and it's a live action cartoon, and it's also got this energy and vibe, and it somehow fits together. And Heather and Ken's arc is this brilliant way of saying, hey, Ken as a character is lacking. Let's make him actually develop who he truly is.
And it's a beautiful ending with all of this coming to a head, where we get to this point and we see Barbie as a character finally find where her arc will take her.
And Rhea Perlman is fantastic in this, by the way.
Yes, it's a small part, but it is very well played.
I mean, we'll be talking about her husband next time, but for right now, it's just kind of fun to see Rhea Perlman show up as her character and be the big thematic finishing point of this movie.
Even if in the back of our minds we're thinking of her appearance on Always Sunny from a couple weeks ago.
Her appearance that we cannot actually quote because, man, is that...
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
If you don't know what we're talking about, then whatever, but...
But still, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Barbie is everything that you heard it was. I can only imagine that every moron political commentator who went to see it was seeing red for like the first 20 minutes
and then the last hour
and completely blacked out for all the stuff in the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just relax, guys. How can you not listen to what these people are saying and not think, maybe I should stop being such a piece of crap?
It's like, you got a lot of points there. You're making a lot of good points. Maybe we should think about that.
Yeah. And we're saying that as not the target audience at all.
No.
It's just a case of, and I think we saw this in a good theater where the energy was, because when America Ferrera was finishing up her first run through of her what it means to be a woman speech, one woman behind us was like, wow, and everybody laughed a little bit because it was like the energy.
Yeah.
I just thought this movie was fun. I don't know if I'm compelled to see it again, and I don't know if it actually does play well against Oppenheimer, but you know what? It's fun, and I'm glad that we as a society have been able to see something like this just blow up in this universe.
Yeah.
So for right now, that's it. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to tune in next time when I offer you this chilling challenge. Find a way out! Bye.